Hello, my name is Vince Romo. The show that you're about to see is about barrio lifestyle, about being raised in the barrio, being from the barrio, the do's, the don'ts, the what's and the where's, the who's and the how's. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Barrio Driven. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting with Darlene Baca, also known as Downer. And before we start, Darlene, would you give the audience a brief introduction of yourself?
My name is Darlene Baca. I'm from Southgate, East LA. Yeah, from Southgate. And I
You just speak your heart, Darlene.
don't know. I grew up,
I'll take you from here then. Don't worry, okay?
okay.
That's good. It's okay. It's not easy. And this is an example. And it's not easy to come on body driven and just to pour your life out to the world. But what we're doing on the show, as you guys know, we're hoping to be a light into a dark place, and that hopefully people will see the things that we've come from and the things that we can overcome. And, the things that we sometimes we still deal with, but it doesn't make us bad people. It makes us human. And we all have a story. And this is Darlene's. Tell me about your childhood, Mija.
um, when I was little, I used to live in East LA.
You may have to talk louder, Mija, because of the
Um,
mic.
when I was little, I lived in East LA. I grew up over there and we moved to Southgate. Um, I got bit by a dog when I was little.
You got bit
Um,
by a dog,
yeah, pit bull.
a pit
Um,
bull.
yeah, because everybody was, my mom was like kicking it, partying with her friends and stuff. And I was in the backyard playing with the pit bull. I used to play with that dog every day though. And I don't know, it was mad because they didn't let it in the house.
Yeah.
And I was playing with a Hot Wheel and it rolled under the back legs of the dog. And I went to grab it and he turned around and grabbed my face and like threw me against the wall. I woke up in the hospital.
Wow.
I had to get 50 stitches on my face right here.
On your face.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
was
where the
really,
scars are from.
yes.
Um, and how old were you when that happened?
I was like 6 years old,
6 years old?
7. I don't remember. Yeah.
How was your relationship with your mom?
I think I have a pretty good relationship with my mom. I mean, I love her. I love her with all my heart, you know. She was a good mom when I was little. To me, she's always been a good mom. No doubt about that. She always showed us a lot of love and stuff. But we had our rough times with her.
Rough times? What do you mean by rough times?
I mean, like, I don't know. My mom's from East LA. She's from Maravilla, so we grew up in that kind of life around her and like, her homies and
You
stuff.
you grew
And
up in a barrio lifestyle.
yeah, yes. And she used to like to drink and party with her homies and stuff, or her homegirls or whatever.
Would she be getting high?
When I was younger, she just used to mostly drink, but yeah, she gets high too.
She gets high. What does she get high? What is her drug of choice that she battles with?
Mostly alcohol, but she's done other things, in the past.
What are other things?
She's had heroin, meth addictions. She smokes weed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard. It was she was on the heroin for a little while. She was because of her boyfriend that she was with. We had a hard time with her going through that, but she got through it. She got over it. She doesn't mess with that stuff no more.
So your mom is clean now.
She still likes to drink and smoke weed, but she's better than
She's
she was.
she's better, but she's still kind of battles a little bit.
Yeah, she does. She's
Okay.
still battling with that.
I understand what you're saying.
She likes to party. Her name is Patty, her Patricia,
Uh-huh.
but they call her Pat. She said it stands for party all the time.
Party all the time. If you're watching, Pat, hello, how
That's
you
what she,
doing? Stop your partying. Um, so growing up, your mom was, battling alcohol and drug abuse. Um, where was your father?
my father, he was in prison most of my life since I was like 2 years old. I don't remember. I was really small.
Your father was in prison most of your life.
Yep.
When did your father get incarcerated? How old were you?
I think I was around 2 years old
Around two
or
years old.
3. And he he went to prison. I think the first time he went for like 12 years and 14 years. So
So he did a 12-year stretch and then he came home
he came out and did another.
and then did another 14. How
Hmm
long was he home
Or it
for?
was 14 and
How,
12. I
how long
remember.
was he home for?
I don't know, for like maybe a year or
About a year.
less. Yeah, probably less than that, maybe a year.
Wow,
But I always had my uncle around me.
you did.
Yeah, I
Your
love him very
uncles.
much.
Were your uncles all from the barrio too, from the neighborhood as well?
My mom, my uncles, yes, they're from East LA.
So basically your whole familia was all entwined in the neighborhood.
Yeah, my
Yeah?
dad was from a different area, but yes, he was close to my uncle though.
Wow.
They were friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did stuff together, you
yeah.
know.
Um, let let me ask you. So your mother, your mom is battling drug addiction and alcohol addiction. Your father's incarcerated.
Yeah.
Was is it basically say that the truth to say that you were kind of almost raising yourself?
Basically, kind of, yes. Yes, I was.
Were you ever
I felt like at a really young age, like, I had to be older. Like, I would, I would mostly hang out and talk to people that were a little bit older than me and stuff. That's how I felt more comfortable around.
wow.
I like to be around my uncle a lot.
What things did you see in your childhood? What things did you see?
Just a lot of, hanging out with their homies and stuff, drinking, getting into like gang banging and stuff like that.
So you saw and you heard a lot of things that weren't meant for a child to hear.
Yeah, I grew up around, like I said, around my uncles, um, always kicking it with their homies.
Do you think that because of your childhood, your environment growing up, it turned you to go to like a neighborhood lifestyle?
Yes, that's what I always. It was just a normal way of life for me. It was just normal. It's
Wow.
normal to be in a neighborhood. It's normal to be around people that gang bang and kick it and party and stuff and do the things that they did.
How old were you when you got into your neighborhood?
I was like, I started hanging around with them. I was like 12 or 13 years old.
12 or 13?
Hmm
And that's when you got into your neighborhood?
Yeah,
What
I
neighborhood
was
were you
like
from?
13. I started kicking it with Southside players because we moved from East LA to Southgate, and that's where I started going from elementary to junior high, and in junior high, I was already from Southside players in junior high school. So I used to fight a lot right there because they were really deep in that time in the area where I lived at.
Yeah,
My clique, the tiny locals that were right there in Southgate, and we were really deep at that time.
yeah.
And we used to always walk home real deep together. Like at least 10 of us would walk home together every day from Southgate Junior High all the way to like close to Alameda, almost to
Yeah.
Watts. Yeah.
Um, were you ever were you ever incarcerated, Mia, at a young age? Did you ever get busted for anything?
No, like when I was a teenager, I'd get pulled over and stuff, and they would take me home to my mom.
That's about
They
it?
would take me home. My homies and stuff, they were going to LP and, YA and stuff like that. But I didn't get incarcerated till I was like 18.
Let me ask you. There's one thing that I wanted to ask you, and something that's not easy to ask, but I'm gonna ask. Um, you know, a lot of times when our parents have neglected us, child, you know, were you ever molested growing up?
Yeah, the person that I thought was my grandfather, um,
Wow.
he's my aunt's dad, but he's not my mom and my uncle's real dad, but he raised them. So me growing up, as I was little, I always called him grandpa. That was my grandpa, you know. But when I was little, he did molest me.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that, Mia. And how long was he molesting you for?
It happened for a while. Like I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and he used to, do things, touch me
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But I I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm
I
sorry
remember
that you
when
went through that.
I went and told my aunt and my grandma about it.
Yeah.
I cried one day. I don't know. I was having problems in school. I was in elementary school still, and I was feeling bad in school. I don't know, but I was scared to tell my mom because I don't know why. I should have told her right away, but I told the wrong people. I told my grandma and my aunt thinking that they were gonna help me or do something about it, but they told me to just stay away from him.
So instead
So
of helping you, they just said just stay away.
yeah, just stay away from him. So
Yeah.
growing up, I stayed away from all of them. Basically, I would just be in the streets all the time. That's how I got to start kicking it with my homies at a really young age and stuff, because I wouldn't want to be home.
How did it make you feel that you went to your aunt, you went to your grandmother to tell them that, hey, you know what, this individual is molesting me? How did it make you feel that they didn't even help you?
It hurt, it hurt because I was real young at that time. But after a few years growing up, like the pain will go away. I'd start fighting a lot, and I just, I mean, you can't erase that out of your mind all the way, but I just cover it.
Yeah,
So like I said, I stayed away from my family mostly. I would mostly be out in the streets all the time.
I
Like 10
understand.
years old, 11, 12, 13, I was out there.
In the streets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to
That's
hear
when
that,
the
Mia.
cops used to bring me home.
Yeah.
They would find me if they would see me walking down the street, they'd pull me over and take me home.
And if is that individual still alive that did that to you?
Yes.
He is? Wow. I'm
Yeah.
very sorry.
My grandma passed away last year,
Yeah.
and he's still there. Yeah.
But he's still there, huh?
Yes, he's still. My auntie lives with him. He's still in the house.
Wow. Yeah. I won't say what I feel toward individuals like that, but for individuals like that, they don't even belong to society. They're cowards. Anyone that molests a child, anyone that puts their hands on a child is a coward, you know? And you don't, you're, I won't, I love my kids. My daughter runs the show, and I always let my kids know, if anyone, I teach my kids because they're my babies. And I'm truly, truly sorry that you had to go through that. Um, and I pray that God heal you totally from that if He hasn't already.
Thank you.
So, um, let's get into your teenage years. Um, how was your teenage years?
My teenagers. I mean, to me, it was fun.
Yeah,
It was when I was at that age, it was just all fun and games. It was just a normal lifestyle that what I was doing and going through.
like what was normal?
Like, just mostly fighting a lot, um, gang banging,
Yeah, you, you had fun.
a lot of gang banging. Well, yeah, kicking it with with my homies and stuff. I have fun with them. I thought it was fun at that time because that's all I knew and what I thought was, like I said, it was normal.
Yeah,
It was normal for me. So
I understand. I understand. You know,
I didn't feel like I was living a bad life at that time.
and it's like I understand we want that sense of belonging. And it
Yes,
feels good to feel. It feels good to have that belonging. You know, um, but what doesn't feel good is when you lose homies, homeboys, homegirls, friends. That's
yes,
when the pain really begins. Because then you realize to then you begin to realize it's real. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do. I have a lot of brothers and sisters.
Really?
I
How
think
many?
there's like 7 or 8 of us, or not? Yeah, like 8 of us.
How many? Wow. So what? How many boys? How many girls? Or
Um, I have like 4 brothers, 5, and I have like 4 sisters.
so you got 4 brothers and 4 sisters. Wow. So there's 9 of you guys.
Hmm.
Wow. What a trip. What's your relationship with them?
It's real good.
It's good.
Yeah, we're very close to each other. We always been real close
Are they all
to
they?
each other.
Did they all end up going kind of the route that? Well, let me ask you this. You didn't. Why didn't you go to any of your brothers or like when you were being? What was happening to you?
My older brother, I don't even remember where he was. He was around, but I think he was like, gone doing his own thing. He was older than me. And then I had a little brother. He was smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had an older sister, but she she's my half sister. We
Yeah.
have the same dad but different moms. So she was with her mom. I don't know, I just didn't really want to tell anybody after I told my aunt and my grandma.
Nothing happened.
And nothing happened, so I didn't feel like telling anybody else until I got older.
I
Like just
understand.
recently, actually, not
Uh,
that long ago.
I understand. Um, Now, with your 4 brothers, well, actually, all of you guys, did they all go towards that neighborhood lifestyle, or
My older brother, when I was little, yeah, he was hanging out with, um, I think it was BAY or something like that,
okay,
badass youngsters. And I remember he got locked up one time for tagging down
tagging?
Long Beach Boulevard. Yeah, he did a big old BAY on the wall. But after that, like he calmed down. He ended up going to the army.
Oh, that's female. That's good.
Yeah, he went to the army, and then now he takes care of my niece that she has Rett syndrome. So he just dedicated his life to her.
Okay, and the other one?
My other brother Anthony, he didn't do that. He used to skate and hang out with like rockers, and he went his own way. He separated from my mom and my family, and he at a young age too, at a teenager, he moved to like Soledad with his girlfriend that he had.
Oh, wow,
He was going to church, and he still lives out there now with his wife and his kids.
wow,
But he hasn't been around us for
wow.
years, a lot of years.
Um,
He's the only one that left. My other brothers and sisters are still around me.
so none of them, everything's good.
Yeah, my little brother though, my little sisters, they try to get into neighborhoods. Cause my homies from Players, we
Yeah.
used to kick it with 13th Street, Eastside 13, Southside 13, and my little sister, she got into Southside 13th Street. Um,
You had told me that you had a brother, and that's what I was getting at.
yeah, I had a baby
And
brother. Um,
and
he was just really close to me. He was
what happened
14.
to him?
He was hanging around with because we had lived in Compton for a while. I had moved to Compton on my own as a teenager,
Yeah.
and he was always around me over there. But he was hanging out with the
Okay.
and one day he was barely 14. He was going to the store to buy a blunt from the liquor store right there on Compton Boulevard. And then when they came, he was with his friends. And when they came out of the store, they were crossing the street, and these guys were passing by, and they just started shooting at them. And he got hit in the leg, I think, and he fell like right before he crossed the street tripped on the curb, and he fell on the street. And these everybody ran, they took off, and these guys got off the car and they let off a whole clip on him. He was just so little still, but he was a big kid. You know, he was a big kid, but he was just a kid. And I already had my oldest son at that time. So we were barely going to pick him up. When we got there, he had just his body. He was still right there on the ground. The cops were barely getting there, putting up the yellow tape. And we ran past them. We ran up to him, and my son, he was real small. And we were trying to hug him, and they pulled us away from him and put us in the cars. They told us, they told me, why am I letting my son see that? I was like, that's my little brother. And they were like, you guys can't be right here. Because when we got there, he had just, I guess his body went into shock and he had just stopped. So he wasn't moving no more. That was really hard to go through.
What was his name again?
Danny Rodriguez.
Danny Rodriguez.
Mhm.
And that was your
Danny
brother. He
Brandon
passed
Romero.
away at 14.
Yes. It was his birthday was October 25th, 27.
So your brother is gunned down at 14 years old,
Yes.
and you arrived to see him. And you and your was it your little brother, your son got on top of him, or who was it?
My son.
You and your son got on top of your brother.
Yes.
Wow. Tell me, what did you see right there?
I just seen him laying in the street bleeding. His face was like down to the side. The cops were already right there. You know, they were barely, like I said, they were barely putting up yellow tape around where he was. And they pulled us away from him. They said we couldn't be right there. They told me, don't let my son see this. And they put us in the car, locked us in the back of a cop car until they were done doing whatever they were doing right there with him. But I was yelling, I was screaming. I was like, why are you guys just leaving him here? You know, like, help him. Can somebody help him? Call the you know, where's the ambulance at? But he was already gone. He had got shot a lot, all right here in his chest and his face and everything.
Wow. So he got hit in his
He
face.
got hit right here, somewhere in his head and his chest. He got shot like 9 times, I think,
Dang.
or 7 or 9.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I had a dream of him after that, like the next day or so.
You had a dream of him?
Yeah,
Tell me about that
I
dream.
dreamed, I dreamed that he came to me and he was up, he was awake, and I was like, Daddy, but I kind of like, because I knew what had happened to him, so I kind of like, I think I got scared, and I didn't want to get scared of him though. But when he seen that I was like, I guess he felt me getting scared. So then my dream switched to where he was just in my arms and he was just asleep. Like he was just sleeping peacefully, but I was holding him. Like he was letting me hug him.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he tell you anything?
No, at the first time, he when he was gonna walk up to me and talk to me, he that's when he stopped and all of a sudden he was just in my arms asleep. So I wouldn't be scared of him.
Wow. That's crazy. And this happened the next night after he passed.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost like if he was giving you that assurance, like, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
How did your
Because I
mom
was screaming really loud.
how did your mom take his death?
It was really bad. You know, everybody took it really bad.
Wow. I'm really sorry, Darlene. I'm really sorry the things you've suffered. You know. Um, so let's let's fast forward a little bit of your life. You've growing up, you grew up in a hostile environment with your mom. Your dad wasn't around because he was incarcerated.
Yeah.
Um, did you battle any kind of addictions yourself? Did you start any kind of like did you what did you battle with?
Yeah, since I was like 11
11 years
or
old.
12 years old, yeah, I would smoke weed.
Weed.
I would find roaches in the back that they were, smoking,
Yeah.
uncles or my mom, you know, that they would leave in the back. There was a bunch of roaches always around it. One time, me and my half sister, we were back there and we were finding them, and we just started smoking, you know. It's
Yeah.
not funny, but yeah, we started smoking them, and then when I turned like 13, I started smoking weed like regularly. But that's when I first had tried it, and we
Yeah.
coughed real bad.
And
But
so
we just thought I don't know, we were just messing around. We were cool.
that was it. Was there any kind of drugs that you battled with?
No, yeah, and then at a young age, like, partying with kicking it with everybody, I used to drink and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to down like 40s of Old English because I thought I was down or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we used to get drunk. We would go to the liquor store and we'll steal them.
Yeah. So you were you said that you besides weed, what else did you do?
Um, a lot of people at that time, like, I don't know, we would get drunk and then they had gave me Coke one time.
Coke.
Yeah, first they started with Coke. They were like, oh, so you won't be drunk or whatever. And then I don't know, I was little, I was kicking it with some homies with this and with other people from different neighborhoods. And they gave me some one time, but it wasn't Coke, it was meth.
Meth.
Yeah, they were doing meth and they had gave it to me. I was like 14 or 15, I was like 15. And yeah, I used to do that sometimes, like, well, I'll be kicking it and stuff and partying and drinking and like, that was around.
So you started doing meth.
Yeah.
Did you get addicted to meth?
I was doing it, yeah, for a while. I did it for a few years, on and like not every single day, but I would do it
A lot.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the party and stuff, kicking it with
Yeah.
people that were on it. So I would do it,
Wow.
but I didn't like it anymore. When I got older, after I had my sons, I was, I just didn't like it anymore. I seen how people turned out and how people were getting, and it
Wow.
wasn't fun anymore. At first, it used to be fun. It was partying, we are drinking, we are partying, we'll be up all night, kicking it for days. But
Yeah.
after a while, that wasn't fun no more.
It isn't. It comes to an end. It really does.
Yeah.
You know. Um. Let me ask you this. How many kids do you have?
I have 4 boys right now.
From different fathers, from the same father, from
Um, my oldest has a different father.
okay, and the three are from the same father?
Yes.
Okay. And where are the fathers at?
One of them is incarcerated. Well, they're, in and out of jail, in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not really around that much.
No. One of them, the first one, he's addicted to meth, and
Oh,
he's in the streets. Like he just,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah,
You know, meth is a no joke drug. You know,
right.
you get hooked very easily.
Yeah, he's the first person I did it with.
Really.
He's the
Wow.
one who gave it to me.
Wow. So let me ask you this: were you ever incarcerated?
I was
What were you incarcerated for?
for a few months, for G writing.
For G writing.
Yeah, I was getting high on that stuff, meth, and I, I don't know, these people that I know, they taught me how to open cars and turn them on.
Really?
And yeah, this other guy that I know, he knew where to go take them to get money for them. So I started doing that. I had a key that was made for me. It was shaped, and I would use it to open up the cars and start them up. And then we'd take off on them if they had rims or sounds, or
Yeah.
even if they just needed the parts like the seats or the tires or the doors, whatever.
Yeah.
We would take them over here to South Central. We would go far, like not that far, but yeah, we would go like to Long Beach or wherever,
Yeah.
and take them and then go take them to South Central to these people that give us money, like $600, $700 or
Yeah.
500, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever they thought it was worth, and we'll take off and go do it again.
Wow. So you got busted for G writing.
I got busted, yeah.
Well, did you have your kids already at that time?
I had my oldest son, yeah,
Did he get
and
what
Xavier.
happened to him when you got busted?
I was still doing it when I had my second son too. He was with his dad, his grandma.
Okay.
He was with his
He's
grandma.
with his dad's side.
Yes,
Okay.
he
All
was
right.
with his grandma, and
Tell me about being incarcerated. How was that?
It was real hard at first because, my son, all I could think about was him. And I just remember I was looking out the county jail. I was in the Twin Towers and you could see all the bell bonds back there. And I was like, man, I had my key with me still the first time. And I don't know how I had it still though, but I was hiding it in my wristband. And I was like, man, I couldn't wait to get out of there to go be back there. I could get me another car and take off.
And get some more money. So you're in jail now, and you're in the Twin Towers, and you're like, you just want to get out of there just to go steal more cars. You want to go do something that you want to go do the thing that got you incarcerated.
Yeah, I seen the bell bonds. I'm like, man, you know how many cars are parked back there where nobody's watching them,
Wow,
And I just
interesting,
wanted to. I was like, man, if I could just get back there, I could hurry up and get home, get back to my son, and take
interesting.
some money to his grandma and stuff.
That's funny. That's funny. You're already thinking like, man,
But I was really, yeah, I
you're
was
already
really
being the
young minded
entrepreneur.
at that time. Yeah,
Right on, right on.
but that's what I knew to do at that time. That's what I was doing. That's what I was into.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have any regrets in life, Darlene? And if you do, what are they?
I regret ever using meth. Is one of my biggest regrets. Um,
Why do you have such a big regret using meth?
it's just all bad. It's all bad. Everybody that I know or knew that has ever been on meth, nothing ever good has ever gonna come out of that or has came out of that. People die being on drugs. It's just not just meth. They be on meth and they use other drugs and they overdose. And I have a homeboy that overdosed that died. Um, he was on meth a lot. And everybody that I know that was on meth, they lost their kids. They had kids and lost them, and they didn't get them back no more. And it's like, God, how could I don't know what I would ever do to be without my boys. I couldn't live with myself.
Have you ever lost custody of your kids?
I have.
What happened? What happened when you lost custody?
Um, I was about to have my baby. I had stopped using meth for a while because I used to get high with my oldest son's dad,
Yeah.
and he's the one who first gave it to me, and his mom. She used to get high on it too. And I
Wow.
used to get high with them. I was like 15 or 14 years old when I started getting high with them. And I don't know, one day I went back to Compton. I was living in El Sereno at that time. I was by myself with my son. And the dad was gone. He was locked up or something. And I went to go visit her, my oldest son's grandma. And his dad was there, but he had left. And she was getting high, because that was her thing. And we always used to get high together. So when I went and she was getting high and I wasn't, it was like kind of weird, you know. And I remember, I think I had a toothache or something, and they were like, "Oh, if you put some coke on it, it'll numb it and take away the pain." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do that." But then, like after the first night, like I don't know, I just ended up doing a line with her, and like I stood with her for like a week, and like 3 days later, I started going into labor. I had my baby. That was the biggest regret I ever have in my life because it was like it was the worst feeling. Even when I thought I was gonna die, it was worse than that. When I had to go home and tell my son that he couldn't go home with me, that he had to go with these people.
So when you gave birth to your baby, this is your newest child?
This is my second son.
They took him away as soon as he was born.
Yeah, when he was born, I couldn't go home with him. My mom had to come to the hospital and get him. I mean, he wasn't born with meth in his. He was good when he was born. It was just me. It was low already, but it still came out positive in my drug test
Yeah.
because they test everybody when you go at this hospital that I went to in downtown LA. So I couldn't take him home with me, but I had to hurry up and get home before the social workers went to go pick up my older son.
Yeah.
And I had to go tell him that he had to go with them because I got there kind of at the same time they got there. And it was just really hard because I had to do it real fast. I didn't have time.
So they took
It just broke my heart because I had to see his little face. He wanted his mom. And that's the worst thing that I could ever say that I've ever, like, besides everything else. It's like so bad. I'll never be able to live with myself if I wouldn't be able to be around my boys. Or, some people, they stay addicted to meth and they rather get high than, it's like, you don't think about your kids, what they're going through, the pain that they feel to be away from their mom and their parents. That's the only people they know that love them, that they're comfortable with, that they trust. So
Yeah.
you're supposed to protect them, and how are you gonna protect them if you're high?
Yeah. Exactly.
And like things happen to people, like what happened to me when I was little, and I wasn't even in a foster home. And imagine kids that are in foster homes, like it's worse things could probably happen to them.
Yeah.
And it was just really bad. It was very painful when they took my boys away from me. But I right away I stopped using meth. Um, like I said, I wasn't even getting. I had been sober for months when I found that I was pregnant with my son, and I don't know why I did that line that one day, but it was a big mistake.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still pay for it.
Yeah.
And I put myself in church though. After that, I started going to church in El Sereno, in the Victory Outreach of El Sereno, and
Yeah.
they helped me get my boys back real fast. I got them. They closed that case and everything like in 3 months, or 3 to 6 months, something like that.
Wow.
They were back with me in 3 months, and in 6 months they had closed my case up.
And Victory Outreach Sereno helped you?
Yes, they
Well,
did.
thank you, Vio Sereno.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, you mentioned to me a story about a man that kidnapped you. Tell me about that night.
Yeah, sheesh. I was walking from Compton. I wanted to get back to Southgate. I was kicking it with people, my ex mother-in-law and stuff, and there was people from different neighborhoods kicking it right there in these motels that we were staying at. We used to sell crack right there to all the crackheads, and my son's dad had left. He was supposed to go bring us some food, but he never came back. I had heard some gunshots and like cops and sirens and stuff, and I got worried and I left. I left walking. I wanted to hurry up and get to Southgate because I thought I seen him going that way. And some guys pulled up on the side of me. I was walking. I was like almost under the freeway, and some guys pulled up and they were like, "Hey, you want to ride?" And I was like, I got kind of scared. I was like, "Nah, good." And they were like, "Well, fuck you, then, bitch. We're just trying to give you a ride." And they started throwing like glass beer bottles at the
Wow.
floor at me and stuff. And I was like, "Fuck you, or whatever." Excuse my language. I don't
No,
know if
go
I
ahead.
should.
Just I want you to speak your heart.
And then like I kept walking and I got under this bridge, and the next thing you know, this fool came out of nowhere, and like I don't know, it was so fast. Like the next thing you know, I was just in the car and I was like, "Oh yeah, I just wanna, I'm going straight to
So,
Southgate." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you. I'm going that way." He was like, "It's dangerous. You shouldn't be," but he was telling me in Spanish like you shouldn't be out here walking around by yourself. It was late. It was kind of late at night. It was late at night, and so I'm like, "All right, well, we're driving straight down Atlantic." And then he starts slowing down, and like right before Imperial, he starts like going around the block, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going this way." He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I was like, "Just let me off right here." He's like, "No, yeah, yeah, I'll take you. It's all right." And I'm like, that's when I started feeling uncomfortable. I was like, "Man, this fool keeps turning. He's stalling instead of going straight." And then he started going straight again down Atlantic again. And then once we got to Imperial, he like turned real fast, and I'm like, "Hey, let me go, please. Like, suéltame, por favor. Just let me go." And he was like, "Yo te voy a llevar donde yo quiero." And he grabbed the like steering wheel, and like he was pushing the gas like hard and
yeah.
fast. He was like pumping the gas, and like we were on the 710 freeway, like going towards Long Beach. And I just felt like my whole life was like I could just see my son's face and like, my family and stuff, my brothers and sisters. And I was just like, God, I can't go where this man is trying to take me to, because I felt like I was dying. I felt like death coming. I felt really like I just had this feeling that I was going to die. So as soon as I got the door open on it was a truck. Um, I just went with the door. I jumped out. He was going full speed on the freeway, and I just jumped out of the truck. And I
Wow.
remember I was laying there on the floor, and I looked up, and I could see the lights, the brake lights, like stopping. And I was like, "Oh my God, he's gonna try to come back."
Yeah.
So I tried to get up so I could run, and I just fell, bam, and hit the floor, and I was out. I just remember hearing voices, and I woke up in the hospital.
So he's going full force on the full speed, high speed, and you jump out on the freeway
Yes.
and you see him coming back.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna come back because I seen him slowing down and like stop, like braking. You
So
could see the brake lights going on.
when you jump out on the freeway, um, I actually jumped out of a car one time, and but I wasn't going. It wasn't going top speed. It was going like 30 miles per hour, and it
Yeah.
hurt. And I remember it hurt. And what happened? I mean, nothing happened to you.
Yeah, I was like I said, I was out. I when I tried to stand up, it felt like I didn't have a foot or a leg. It felt like nothing was there. When I seen him breaking, I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna come back. I'll try to get up so I could run or get some help or something. And that's when I tried to stand up, and it felt like I had nothing to stand on. And I just fell. I hit the ground again and busted all of this open.
Uh,
My whole body was black and purple and blue and
really?
mostly purple and yeah, all bruised. All my chest, everything was bruised up. Most of my whole body.
So you felt like you were gonna die. Wow.
Yeah, I felt like I was gonna die if I went with him.
Is that
All
what
I
the
know is
scar's
I
from
had to
on your
get out
on
of
your?
the
I
truck.
saw the scar on your ankle. Is that what that's from?
Yes, I have a plate right here with pins, and I have a screw on this side. It's all holding my ankle together because it was shattered.
Your ankle was shattered,
Yeah, and they
and
they
that was
said it
from
was
you
like a
jumping out
puzzle.
the car.
Yes, me jumping out the car, out the truck. It was going really fast,
Wow.
but I just knew I couldn't go where he was
But
trying to take me to.
it's what they say is like when you have that intuition, you got to go with what your heart tells you. You jump out the freeway, you shatter your ankle, and you wake up in the hospital. You're black and blue. How long were you in the hospital for?
For like a month or two.
A month or
For
two?
like a month or so, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Dang.
I don't even know how long I was there when I woke up, but I guess I had been there for a while. All I remember after seeing those brake lights when I tried to get up, all I remember is like everything was black. I just remember hearing voices, and the next thing you know, I wake up in the hospital
Wow.
with a big old, my foot was like up and it looked at fake. So right away when I woke up, I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. So I screamed. I started screaming.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're okay." They came and calmed me down and stuff.
Really.
And started asking me questions like, "Do I remember my name and where I live and stuff like that?"
So during the course of your life, you started doing drugs at like 13, 14 years old. You were molested. I'm sorry. And the person that did that is just garbage. Anyone that touches a child.
Supposed to
Um,
be my grandfather.
I'm very sorry. Very sorry. Um, you jump out the car to save your own life. You lose your little brother almost in front of you, and you get on top of him, and they rip you off your brother as you see him die.
Right.
You went through a lot, you know. Um, and you lose custody of your kids. You lose custody of your kids for battling drug addiction.
Yes.
Um, where where are you at in life now? How are you doing now?
Now I don't fear that I'm gonna ever use meth again.
That's good.
I know that's a for sure thing that I won't ever do again. Um, I pray to God that I don't have the urge to smoke weed anymore,
Do you,
you know,
a
because
lot
that's something that I always,
that you've battled.
yeah, I always did it since a really young age. And
We're gonna be going to your barrio, to your neighborhood right now, and God willing, we come back. Where are you gonna take us to, Darlene?
I don't know if you want to see all the places where I went to school at. We're going to Southgate. That's mostly where I was getting,
I would like to go to the place of where your brother lost his life.
That's in Compton.
I would like to go to the place where your brother lost his life.
Yep, we can go
Are
there.
you okay to do that?
Yes,
Yeah?
of course. I go there sometimes.
Do you? All right, Darlene. We're gonna be hitting the streets, familia. This is Barrio Driven. So right now we're driving to Darlene's barrio right now. We're driving to where, where she grew up.
And tell them why there's a noise.
And if you hear feedback, it's because she has like this big old bass speakers, and we can't turn them off, so it just keeps going. So excuse the audio.
My bad.
She was my bad.
My bad. I didn't know the speakers were gonna do that.
But you know,
It's the headhunter, and I do it like this. It's the headhunter, yeah, the one that you miss. With the knick-knack, paddywhack thing that you can hold me back. Cruising in the hood as I'm bumping in the Cadillac. From the north south, straight up into the bank. Right off 65, homie, that's where I stay. Born and raised in the pig, and you think that you slick, but you ain't seen none. You ain't seen nothing yet, cause we're coming for real. Lock, cocked, and I kill. I'm gonna do what I feel, cause I know what is real. With the front back, top back, hearing that you talk smack. Praying for them homers, cause I ain't taking none of that.
so right now, as we're headed to Darlene's old, neighborhood, we made a pit stop to one of her old homes, and she had informed us that where she lived. Well, let's just walk over there. And you said that your house was raided, right?
Yes.
What happened when they raided the house?
They found a lot of pounds of weed, dope, a lot of guns throughout the whole house. And they had everybody hemmed up outside, and they wanted to take all of us, but my sons were in there also. So they had us all outside, and they had my kids, and they were waiting for social workers to come and get my boys.
Let's go. Let's go walk over.
But see, the bounty hunters, they they came real deep to see what was going on with us.
Yeah.
Is that TV? And then they so they came over here real deep, and they got my kids, like they put my kids like in, they came like deep like in a group, and they got my kids, and then they walked away with my kids, and they took my boys.
Really?
Yeah, they were little. It was Mikey and Xavier.
So they basically protected your kids.
Yeah, they protected my kids. They took them so that the CPS wouldn't
The
come and
Child
take them.
Protective Services
Yes.
wouldn't come and take your kids
Yes.
away.
And
Wow.
then when the cops were like, "Where are those kids that were right here?" And then nobody said nothing. Everybody was quiet, like, we don't know.
Wow. So the homies looked out for you.
Yeah, the bounty hunters looked out for us. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, they did. It was all right here in front of the. Because I was trying to call my mom to come and get my boys, but she was over there in Southgate, and so meanwhile they came up deep because one of the fools from Bounty Hunters used to live over there in that greenhouse, and some other ones lived right across the street, where they shot up that house right there. They killed his dad. But it was right here. They had us all right here, handcuffed, and then my boys were right here, and the bounty hunters came walking. Like they had kids with them too, and like women and guys, and they all came right here to see what's going on. And the cops were like, "Get out of here, get out of here!" And they're too busy with everything, with all of us, my homies, and everybody that was right here.
Yeah.
So they were distracted at the same time. These people were right here, and they were telling them to leave. But when they left, they took my kids with them.
Wow.
So then they couldn't find my kid. They were like, "Where did the kids go?" And nobody's know nothing. So then they just let it be.
Wow, that was a close call for you.
Yeah, they almost took my boys right there.
Well, thank God that they didn't though.
Yeah, I thank God. I think I'm grateful that they did that for me.
Yeah.
I was really grateful. I thank God that then people had a heart like that
No.
for the boys.
No, most definitely, most definitely. When you think back of situations like that, do you sometimes regret choices that you've made in life?
I do,
Having your
but
kids, having your kids around all
having
that,
my kids around that stuff, yeah. But at the time, um, is where I was living.
Yeah,
It was just like I told you before. It was just a normal lifestyle
it was
for me.
normal. Yeah,
It was just normal.
no, most definitely. Where are you
Yeah,
gonna be taking us to next?
to Southgate.
To
We're
Southgate?
in Watts right now.
All right, gente. Stay with us. This is Body Driven. We're going to Southgate.
Pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
But I only know him because he talked to the other homies that I used to live with right there
Yeah.
and stuff.
How you doing, man?
Sup, TV?
What up,
What
How
it
you
do?
been?
What's the deal,
Shit,
man?
chill out. Yeah. Long
Good
time
to
no
see. I
see.
know it's been a while, man. It's
Yeah,
been
I
a
know.
long time. Been some years, huh?
A lot of years.
Good to see you, though, man.
See you
I'm glad
too.
you're still right here.
Yes, and alive.
Thank God. Yep.
How
I
you
think.
doing, TB? My name is Vince, brother. Nice to meet you. The
Hold on,
pleasure's
man.
all mine. Do you mind if I ask you just something? I have a show, man. I
Okay.
have a show called Body Driven, and what we do is we share stories,
Absolutely.
and we don't give out information that we're not supposed to. We just share stories.
Yeah.
And she was sharing a story with us that her home got raided, and she said that you came with a bunch of your people, and you guys surrounded her kids and saved your kids from getting taken away from
Yeah.
child services.
Yep.
Why'd you do that, brother?
What? I was like, I had no choice. She right there. I
Right.
mean, you're a man, ain't you? These kids ain't got these kids, these babies. It's the right thing to do. You got to do what's right.
That's
So
right, homie. That's right. And you
that
know
was the
what?
right thing to do.
I respect you, man.
That was the
Honestly,
right
for
thing to
for,
do.
for doing
I
that,
want
man.
somebody
Most
to do it for
definitely.
my baby mama or my mama. I could have been one of them kids at a time.
Yeah,
Feel what I'm saying? So
I
and I know
appreciate
how it
that.
is over here. It's the ghetto. It's rough.
It is. A lot of people don't realize. We have viewers that watch us from different states, different parts of the U.S., and they don't really realize how bad LA streets is. If you were to tell the viewers exactly how it is out here, how would you tell them how it is out here in LA?
Rough. Straight up
Yeah.
rough. I mean, you gotta be knowing what you're doing out here. It's rough. And it ain't no game. You step out in this lifestyle. You can be here today, be gone tomorrow. So
Right.
You're from Bounty Hunters. This is
I
because
am.
this is your hood right here.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I appreciate that,
All the
man. For
time,
for
bro.
no, man. Thank you, man.
All
Much
the time.
respect for
I
allowing me.
appreciate you too.
Um, real quick, if you were to add up the number of homies that you've lost in the streets, man, in these streets, how many would it be?
Like at least 100.
Damn, man. Damn.
I think at least 5 a year. At least 5 bodies a year. Sometimes it'd be 10. I got over 20 years. So yeah, about 100, a little bit more.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, I want to thank you, man, for saving those kids and being a part of Darlene's episode. Um, let me ask you, are you still very active, involved in your neighborhood?
Absolutely. Not how I used to be, but in a different way. So, came a long way, but I'm still here.
Can I ask you what makes you, what drives you to just continue to push your neighborhood, to see your neighborhood prosper? What is it inside you? Is it TB?
Yeah.
TB to say, you know what, I want to see my neighbor prosper. I want to see my neighborhood strong. What makes you at your age now to continue being out here?
Them 100 people that I seen die, them 100 people.
Mhm.
All them lives, some for nothing, some for something. But a lot of them didn't even get to live no life. Because we start real young. So, that's one of the main things right there. Them 100 people.
Much respect, TB.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, much respect.
All the time, bro.
God bless you, and may God always keep you safe, my man.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because tomorrow is never promised to any of us.
Absolutely.
Hey, stay safe out here, and much respect
Much
to,
respect
to
to you
your whole
too.
neighborhood, man, to all the bounty hunters, and gracias for me, homie, for having us out here. I
All the time.
appreciate you. All
Appreciate you
right,
too, bro.
gracias, and stay
You're
safe, my
welcome,
man.
bro. You
All
too,
right,
bro.
thank
Appreciate
you,
you.
brother. Thank you.
Rolling in my Cadillac, rolling, kicking in my 6-4, kicking in my 6-4, flipping on all three, rolling with people. Rolling in my Cadillac, rolling, kicking on the 5 freeway, and down the avenue, we're rolling with people.
So right now, where Darlene took us to, she took us to the spot where we're actually gonna go to Southgate, but we ended up coming here to her brother's final resting spot. He had went to a liquor store right down the street, and they got whatever it was they were gonna drink, and then they started walking home. And then tell us exactly what happened that day, Danielle.
So they went to
Darlene.
the liquor store right there to get some blunts or whatever to smoke. And then they were walking back this way, across the street, on that side of the street. And then those fools right there pulled up. They started driving by and they seen them like that. And they went up to the light over there and came back this way. But by that time, all of them were already like over here. And they started running that way to across the street this way. They ran across the street. And when they were coming back this way and they started shooting at them. And he fell right there, like right at the corner right here where the yellow tape is. He fell at that corner. It was like right there. And they got off the car and walked up to him and they let off the whole rest of the clip on him. He was on the floor. Like right here. I don't know. I remember there was blood right here and right here. He was laying like right here somewhere.
Jeez. So right here is where your brother passed away.
Yes.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to hear that. He's 14 years old. What year did that happen?
Happened in 07?
In 2007.
Yeah.
So he's been gone now for quite some time. 2027 will be 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was 14 then. So
14 years old.
it was October 10th, I think, or 8th, 2007.
Wow.
And his birthday was on the 25th of October. He was going to be
He
15.
was going to be 15.
Yeah. He got shot right here. They got off the car right here, I guess. Stopped right there, got off the car, ran up to him because he had fell right here. He tripped right here somewhere and he fell and they ran up and they just shot him all up right here.
Welcome to Los Angeles, familia. This is BARRIO DRIVEN. Anyway, gente, we just got back from the streets. I wanted to visit a few more locations, but started getting a little bit late, and I've been under the weather lately, as maybe you could hear under my voice, so forgive me. So we cut it a little bit short. But on the way home, I was talking to Darlene, who has been brave enough, because any individual that comes on and shares their life story, it takes a lot. Each individual, whether male or female, I already consider them brave just to come out here and share their story. And one thing that Darlene has shared with me is she had shared that through everything that she's gone through in life, that there's been times where she hasn't made the best choices to be able to pay the bills. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that, Mija? Some of the situations that you've done, some of the things that you've done to be able to put food on the table.
Mm. Well, sometimes regular jobs weren't cutting it enough. And I had to do everything by myself. Like I had to take care of my boys by myself. I had to take care of myself. So like besides what I was doing before, doing the cars and stuff like that, I um I started dancing. I started dancing.
Yeah.
It's something I thought I wanted to do because I like to dance, but I don't know. I started stripping. I started working in a club.
Yeah.
I started dancing. Because to make the money, I needed, and that's how I took care of my kids for a long time. Um, I always took care of us like that.
Um, how did it make you feel, Mijo? And I'm asking you because I've never had the opportunity to interview someone that was in that occupation. Um, you know, I
Right,
imagine making good money,
right. Well,
but at a price too as well. Having all these different men grope all over you, you know, be all over you every night. How did that, you know, were you okay? Are you okay with it? Or you like, I mean,
well, yeah, different place. Like I worked in several different clubs, so everyone's kind of different. At first, when I first started, it was in a club in Southgate, around my area. So I was safe right there. I thought I liked it because I don't know why I always wanted to be a dancer,
yeah.
and I started dancing at a young age. Right there, they let me in. I was underage, and they
So you
let me
started
in.
dancing underage.
Yes,
How old were you when you started
I was
dancing?
like 17 or
So you were
18.
17 years old.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that's when I first tried it. And I was like 18 or 19. And it was a 21 and over club because they served alcohol there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I
you
was
were,
working there and I was making money, but right there, I felt like it was cool because I don't know, it's kind of weird, but my uncle, he was a bouncer there, the door guy there. And the
yeah,
owner from that club, he was real good friends with my uncle. So, like I said, my uncle was a bouncer there. The owner was a real close friend of my uncle's.
yeah.
And the DJ, I know him too. So I went in there one day and I was like, let me work in here. And they were like, no, your uncle's gonna trip. Boxer's gonna, he's gonna F us up. And I was like, he's not gonna know. Come on, just let me work. And then they
Yeah.
let me in. And I don't know, when I got on stage one night, I was in there and I didn't think my uncle was gonna be around there. He wasn't gonna be there that day. And I had got on the stage. And then my uncle walked in the front door and he was like, what the fuck? Girl,
Yeah.
get your ass down
He got
from there.
upset.
Yeah, he got really upset. And everybody, the owner and the DJ and my uncle, they all, whatever other guys were working in that club, they all got in a big fight. Like, they all started fighting.
Wow.
So, but yeah, my uncle didn't want me in there. But I was like, come on, let me, I'm making money right here. I'll give you money and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't like for me to be in there. So I had stopped working there for a while, but then I started working again. And then that club,
Let,
um,
let me ask you, um, the first time, because I'm not, I don't go to strip clubs. I've never been a fan of strip clubs. Um, Anyone that knows me knows that I don't. And yes, I'm a man of faith and I love God with all my heart. But I'll be honest with you, that's not even you know, that's not why I stopped going to strip clubs. I've went to a couple times. I never enjoyed the thing of being teased, the idea of being teased. Um, it just didn't appeal to me. But for some men, I mean, it's to each their own.
right.
Um, you know, the first time that someone groped you, because I remember the few times that I did go, they gave me opportunities. They're like, hey, if you want to sleep with the girl, it's gonna cost this much. If it's, what I'm saying, and let's just be real. This is a serious show.
Right.
Let's not fake the funk. You know, I know it goes on at strip clubs. Now you're gonna tell me that girls don't sleep around with some of the patrons? They do.
And some of them, they do.
They do.
Not all the clubs, but yeah, there are
Yeah.
some where I have worked at a club where I was uncomfortable. I didn't want to work there because the owners, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I've worked at other club where it's like, oh no, you can't be too close. You can't be doing too much. You're gonna get in trouble. You get kicked out.
Yeah.
But then there's clubs where they're like the owners are real, they're scandalous. They don't care. They just want money, and they think they're gonna get more money if they have the girls, prostitute themselves there.
Yeah.
And like they don't care because they're not the ones doing it,
Yeah.
And then some girls don't care. They're gonna do it because they just want money.
How did it make you feel the first time you did have
Touched
to
me.
get, yeah, touched you?
Um, I slapped the guy before he smacked me on the back of my ass and like grabbed me, and I turned around and smacked him real hard. It was loud in the club too, and everybody was like, "Ooh!"
Really?
But yeah, I went and asked him if he was okay because he just like calmed down after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But at
but
the other club where, the owners, they wanted girls to prostitute themselves there. Um, I got uncomfortable when they first told me that, we don't want to lose no customers. Like
you
you
got
just
to
got to
do,
make the customer happy,
yeah,
make sure they come back, and
yeah,
and I was like, okay, and then I learned what he was getting at because
yeah,
when I first went to the back and I seen other girls back there like doing stuff, and I was like, oh shoot, I I felt bad, like because I know I can go dance in clubs and make money, and I don't have to do that,
yeah.
But this one particular club, that's what they wanted. They wanted you to do that stuff, and I couldn't work there for. I didn't like working there.
I've
I
been
hated that.
to a few clubs, and every club that I went to offered that.
Really, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. I went to a club in Miami because I produced a show out in Miami, and I needed some strippers for this episode. So I had to go and get some strippers, and they offered me that. Even at a club that, you know, clubs that I know that are out here, they've offered that. And I don't go to clubs, for years. I just don't care for them. Um, Not that I'm so holy and righteous. It's just like as I said, I remember I had got a lap dance from this one girl that was a gift from a famous actor. I won't say this person's name. He bought me a lap dance, and I didn't want it. I was like, no, no, no. And I remember she was dancing on me, and I wasn't enjoying it. And then she asked me, "What are you gay?" And I said, "No, I'm not gay." And I told her, hey, are you gonna, bleep bleep bleep? And well, she was like, well, it depends on how much you're willing to pay. And I'm like, man, see, that's what I mean. I'm
Right.
cool. I'm cool. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pay $350, $450 to have sex.
Hmm.
And so that's the main reason why I don't like strip clubs. You know.
Yeah.
Now it's because of my faith in Christ, but the majority was because I just don't like them. But you know, I know you've made some difficult choices to survive in this world because nobody does for you, from what I understand from you, correct?
Right.
You take care of your kids. You even
I
help
do.
your brother, your uncle, and you
Yes.
had an uncle who recently passed away. You
Yes.
have our condolences.
I was very close to him.
Um, you had a lot on your plate, and you've had to do a lot on your own. So you've made choices that weren't the best for you, you know, weren't the best choices for you above all spiritually, because they and mentally too. Because doing those type of things, that it messes up with your mind,
Yeah.
you know, having men grope you and touch you every single night,
Right.
having being totally nude in front of different men after night, you know,
Yeah.
and you're brave to come out here and share your story, you know. You've even told me about, that you had different gentlemen that you've went around and stayed with for a while for financial gain, you know, and I understand that. I understand. Nobody took care of you, so I mean, hey, and you think I'm better than you? I ain't better than you. I ain't better than her, Rasa. I ain't better than her because she's went out and was with this rich dude, or went out was slept with this person, slept with that person. If you want to be honest, I'm a sinner. You're a sinner watching this. We're all sinners in need of God's grace, and that's the honest truth. I don't judge her. You think I judge this person? I ain't better than her. I ain't better than no one. You know, and that's why God came and offered His Son Jesus in hopes that we would all take that gift that he gave us on that cross, you know. But let me ask you this: if there was a young female, and you know, you've been through a lot in your life. You've been through drug addiction, you've been through the loss of a brother, you've been through, I mean, gang banging, you've been through incarceration, you've been through having to, you know, work in the adult industry, you know. Um, what would you say if there was a young girl saying, man, you know what, I want to make that money, you know? She's 14, 15 years old. Man, I can't wait till I'm 18. I want to
Right.
I want to make that big money.
There's a lot of people like that.
What
And
would
I feel
what,
bad.
what would you tell her? What would you honestly tell her?
I would
Look into
say,
that camera. What would you tell her?
you know, there's so many better things for you to do. You don't want to throw your life away like that. You don't want to, you know, have that your kids grow up and look at you and be, oh, my mom was this, you know, or even when you're in a relationship, it just, it's problems. It brings a lot of problems to you, the way people look at you or think about you because of you working there, you know. It's, there's so many other things that you can do in life, like just stay in school. Just stay in school and be your age. Enjoy your age until you know, because once you're older, you don't get that back no more. You don't get to be a teenager or a kid ever again. You don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that time that you have in your life to enjoy. You got to enjoy it while you're there. Enjoy being a kid, enjoy being a teenager, enjoy going to school. And there's so much, so many better things that you can do. You don't have to do stuff like that because it's just gonna, it brings you down in the long run. It might seem cool, like, oh, I can dance, and you might think you make a lot of money and stuff like that, but it's not all good in the end. I mean, nobody can do that forever. We all get old one day, you know, and it's not something you want to be stuck on.
You know, Darlene, you're you're a very brave woman, and I commend you. You recently went to church with me. I invited you to church, and you went, and I was very proud of you. You got to meet my pastor. You
I
got to
did.
meet his wife.
Yes,
You had people pray for you. Are you going to continue going?
yes, I am. I would love to continue going.
I want to tell you that God has a plan for your life. I don't know what it is, but if there's one thing I could tell you, I know it's good. I want to continue. I want to tell you, continue on. And if you continue, I promise there's a blessing at that end of that road. You hang on, mija. I'm very proud of you. I'm proud to call you a friend. And I'm honored that you were willing to sit down here with us today. Thank you, mija.
Thank you for having me.
And may God bless you. May God bless your children. May God always bless your familia, mijita.
Thank you
Okay?
very much. I appreciate you.
It's all good.
Thank you for taking me to church. It's a great feeling.
Thank you for watching, gente. This is Body Driven.